Oh, hi there, Rich.
Oh, hello there, Corey.
We are, guys. We're kind of back. I mean, this has been a little hiatus for us, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been a bit calm, but we have not been dormant by any stretch. We've been doing some things, man.
I live on the phone.
and then when you're not on the phone with other people, you're on the phone with me.
Yep.
And then I'm on the computer doodling, taking entirely too long to do graphic design projects.
Yeah, I think I wake up and I'm like, wow, I answered this text message in the middle of the night in my sleep. That can't be good, So
on the road to the show, there no less than 4 times I fell asleep with my face on my computer. Because I'll get on my bed, I'll lay down, and I just kind of.
No, that sounds about right. Yeah, I agree. Funny little side note before we get into the swing of things. I was putting up my right in this little break before we jumped right on. I was going to put up my little Spider-Man statue I have, and I broke him.
Oh no!
So that's a good little sign for this show. So looking forward to that. But
well, so
it is
broke, so nothing else is going to break.
Yeah, that's it. We got it out of the way. But I am excited because it is Spider-Man Day, because it's the internet. We're Comic Conline, and we can pick whatever day we want to have whatever holiday we want. Nice mask.
Yeah. So we were selling these before, and we got to get a new supplier because we kind of the well ran dry. So we'll have new stuff coming soon.
Very cool.
A lot of new stuff. Now I am quite fond of these here, which is no longer for sale.
The Corey Pommel strip show right now. Very
Dude, I'm telling you. Look, I'm wrong way. All yep. Superman and stuff.
That's good.
So I'm brand certain.
I love the hat. The hat I like. I use that a lot. I should have wore it. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah. I'll be the billboard. You can just be the guy.
That's fine. I can be the guy. So it's Spider-Man Day.
Yeah.
And we've got some cool guys coming on. Some of my favorites. What up, Mark Strong? I see you. What's up, Robert? I don't even know. I'm going to say Velez, Peace for Brooklyn.
Yeah, Anicio. I actually called him yesterday. I called him on his cell phone because he sent in a book, and it didn't say what he wanted on it. So for the Jason Aaron signing. And so he just got a random call for Corey with Comic Conline.
Nice.
So, Christian,
what up?
Alan.
Christian also recommended super glue.
For my statue. Yeah,
epoxy, like
I'll see what happens to the base, and I'll get on that. But yeah, so a little bit of house cleaning before we start. Giuseppe Camicoli, he will not be able to make it today due to some personal stuff he's got going on. We wish him all the best. I'm sure he will be on sooner rather than later. I could probably theme a whole entire Star Wars day around him alone for his work on Darth Vader. Which I might.
I mean, that could be a thing, a Star Wars themed day show.
I want it. Definitely. I saw a guy, CT, who said he was a first-time viewer. Thank you for joining us. Happy you are here. So, yeah, we're going to, in a little bit, around 2 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be talking to Rick Leonardi.
Oh.
Really excited about that. Co-creator of 2099 Spider-Man. He's had influence on the black suit for Spider-Man. Very cool dude. Hopefully get a little bit of insight in from him.
He's done some Cloak and Dagger stuff.
Vision, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I wonder if any of his stuff made it into the Cloak and Dagger TV show. If there were any pull from any of his things he worked on, or maybe even the what was it, WandaVision.
Yeah. Have you been watching WandaVision?
Have you seen that? I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I'm it's not my kind of show so far.
Gotta watch the 3rd episode, man.
Huh?
3rd episode came out yesterday. Gotta watch it.
I'll watch it. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, I dug the whole throwback where he, like, when Vision, spoiler, swallowed his gum, and it showed the gears binding up in his stomach and whatnot. So, I mean, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. No, I definitely like it. The first episode was definitely like a rip on, like, Dick Van Dyke. The second one was like Bewitched. 3rd episode, I guess it's kind of sort of, but this next kind of Brady Bunch-ish. So kind of liking that. But yeah, we'll talk to Rick. Maybe he's watched it. We'll ask him. I don't know. Looking forward to Mark Bagley.
Very much. That's one guy. from your childhood, that's one guy that my childhood, anyways. From the Maximum Carnage stuff and all that. That's one guy who I loved that character, and I've always wanted to meet Mark Bagley, and I've never had the opportunity. I'm sure you have had a.
Is this your first time meeting Mark Bagley?
This is.
I've known Mark for a while, but that's exciting. That's fun.
Yeah.
And then Pat Gleason, who has a cover right now, a series of covers that have been coming out.
The dude is printing a mint over there.
Yeah, he sure is. Michael, what up? Yeah, no, he's doing great. Those web covers, I'm definitely going to just ask him where was the inspiration for those covers. That's it. It's such a simple concept that works, and it's great, and I'm just curious to know how that happened.
I think one thing I've noticed is a lot of comic fans, and you can't do it a whole bunch, but a lot of comic fans are drawn to a negative space kind of thing. From John Tyler Christopher to
love John Tyler Christopher.
What's her name? Oh man, she did the Nightwing and the Red Hood covers.
Oh, now you're gonna put me on the spot.
I can't think of her name.
Are you thinking Yannick Paquette?
No.
Yasmin Putri?
Yes, Yasmin Putri. That's it.
I said Yannick Paquette. I meant Yasmin Putri. Nice, I feel like an idiot.
Space. And when you do that, when you use that single color with the negative space, it's a very memorable image because it doesn't look like anything else you really ever see.
Right.
That's my explanation for it. I could be way far off.
No, I mean, it's good. The negative space stuff is always good. That cover, there's something about it. It's got this organic look to it. It's very cool. And then the Carnage one that Marvel announced, very cool. And Pat is also doing a Venom one. I don't know if anyone saw the Venom one.
The Venom 33?
33.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous cover. I think, actually, what do I mean? If anyone's saying, I think it sold out in like 35 seconds when it was online.
I think he said like 8 minutes or something, which is
my God.
Astounding for a 3,000 print run book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fast, dude.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, and Pat's super nice, dude. He's named a Stormbreaker, but we're not going to call him that. We're going to call him a Young Gun because that's what it should be. I don't like the Stormbreaker stuff. I like the Young Gun stuff.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed with the Marvel and the Young Guns, they had some guys as Young Guns that were 40.
Oh, so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're like, welcome to Marvel. You're a fresh face. So, they look at Pat and they're like, no, what's Super Sons?
Yeah.
So
he shaves his beard. He looks like a fresh face. That's for sure.
He does. So one of the things for everybody watching, we definitely want to talk about real quick is everybody we are speaking to today. There will be CGC or CBCS signing attached to each creator. Some of them are doing remarks. Some are just signing. So like for you guys, I want your Carnage Bagley remark sketch. You can start putting those in by the end of the show around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. We've handpicked facilitators for CGC who will be taking care of us, and one for CBCS that we love, and that is Clan McDonald. We love Steve. He's a great guy.
I came prepared.
You came prepared? You got to throw those through the screen at Mark?
Sign my books, Mark.
Right? That's good.
I don't know how I ended up with two of the 363s.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, but that's a great cover.
Yeah, 361, 362, 363. I mean, that's not a... Yeah. Yay. And I've held on to these for so long, and for no other reason than Maximum Carnage, the video game, was like, that was my jam, dude.
Yeah. I had it. I had the red cartridge Sega Genesis one.
But the name alone was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
a great game.
Third grade.
I loved it. I think that was like the first Sega Genesis game I owned.
Yeah. Like, I begged my mom for it, and then when I got it, because it looked cool on the thing, and I got it, I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
Right.
And I just didn't play it, so...
I think I was stuck on the first level of that game for the first, 2 years. I owned it because I think I was, 5 or 6 when that came out.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, and I want to ask Mark about that game, too. I want to see if people ask him or have him sign that video game.
Dude, I would totally do that.
I would totally do that.
I remember the first Carnage action figure and stuff too. That was cool because it had the big blade on it, and
that was the Toy Biz ones.
Yeah, then my brothers broke and lost all the pieces to it, so I was hurt.
If you had broken toys like that, that means you guys enjoyed it. You had a good time with that.
No, that just means my brothers were kind of turds, and they did stuff to cause me grief.
That's also true. That is true whenever you have to share toys like that. But getting back to signings real quick for everybody, because I know that's what a lot of people were asking about, was signed stuff. One of our big announcement, surprise announcement, on top of the Comic Conline announcement, Bagley, Leonardi, Gleason, is Dave Michelinie.
Yay.
Co-creator of Venom, co-creator of Carnage, will be accepting books starting after this show for signings.
So, in theory, could get a book, because you know how Rob Liefeld, a lot of people have Rob Liefeld sign everything related to Cable or Deadpool.
Sure.
If someone wanted to do that, say with the Spider-Man 55,
you could, or you could, or you could do a Spider-Man 361 first Carnage signed by Bagley and Michelinie.
Hey, I just might do that.
I think you should.
I think I'm gonna.
Rich Hen's never heard of Venom, and we love Rich Hen. So to jump in Venom, Rich Hen, he is one of the facilitators for this event. He is one of the people who will be facilitating. We also are using Agents of Slab. We also want to give a nice little shout out to Dino, who runs Agents of Slabs, for helping us link up with Rick Leonardi. We are using Scott's Collectibles for everyone overseas. We love them. They love us. You know, great guys. They rep Chemicoli, who unfortunately can't be here, but you know they'll make sure everything gets taken care of on that front. We are also using Twin Cities Comics, run by Tori. Great dude. That guy, I've seen, and anytime I've ever been to a convention, I always see Tori and Twin Cities in all the exclusive VIP places that I wish I could go. So he's great. Corey has thoughts.
I met him and like he had no reason to talk to me. I don't even think he was after any Art Germ books. He's just nice. He's just a genuine dude. Nice.
Oh yeah.
James Dawson introduced me to him, I believe.
Love James Dawson too.
Yeah. So
you know, as we were saying earlier, Clan McDonald, they'll be doing all the CBCS stuff. You know,
apparently they are the exclusive. You know, if anybody, we may have spots available. If you think you have what it takes to step up and be another CBCS rep, then I mean, you're welcome to give it a shot. We'll review it and go from there.
And for raw books can be sent directly to Comic Conline. So if you want to get your trades, your stuff they already have signed by other people that you don't want to get graded, that could be sent directly to Comic Conline. So we basically have everybody covered in every way you want. If you want to get a sketch by Mark Bagley and have it signed by Michelinie, you can do that. If you want to get something signed and sketched by Rick Leonardi, you can do that. If you want, there's tons of ways to do it. It's Spider-Man. If you want to send a blank and be like, I want to have it signed by everybody, we could probably find a way to do it.
I think we could. Now, the one hitch on this is, before these facilitators, a lot of times would take in the raw books and they would get you a raw signature.
Yep.
We're not gonna make them do that here. We're gonna actually in-house take in all the raw signatures because there's really no. It's a lot of work to get the raw signatures. So,
let the facilitators, these guys that we've. I honestly like these are all the guys that have the most experience in the CGC industry. You know, they're the big names. We love them. I know these guys are great. Yeah. So best reps of any facilitator that I know. Very excited to have them on board. Same thing with Clan McDonald. We're really excited to have him involved. He's a great dude. Raw signatures. We'll cut the work out of that. We'll take care of that, and everybody else can send everything they need for their grading purposes. Oh God! And everybody's going to get those Carnage labels too. I know that.
Dude, did you see the new labels that they have coming out? Like they have a Thor, they have Carnage, they have. I was doing a submission yesterday. For Jason Aaron, I had to go through and get all the numbers for that, and it was. They have some nice ones, and looking at all the retired labels they have, CGC's got some nice stuff.
Yeah, no, the Marvel labels are great. They always have like these cool characters. I'm like, damn, that's great. There's always a new Venom one.
Yeah.
There's always a new Venom one, and that makes me laugh. I love the new Spider-Man one with the Junior Hobgoblin. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that one. They have the Scotty Young Doctor Doom. It's cool. I don't know that I would necessarily get it if I was getting a Doctor Doom book, but if I got a Scotty Young book, I would definitely put that on it.
Definitely, yeah. Because if I'm getting like an Addy Granoff or somebody Doom that's very mean and hostile looking and stuff like that, then it's like super cute Doctor Doom at the top by Scotty Young and throw me off a little bit.
I've got a GSX-1 that I put the Adi Granov, I guess, redone GSX homage.
Sure.
That thing looks solid. Oh, it's beautiful.
Good stuff. I have two special label books actually. Well, the newest one I got was a Adam Kubert Quickie Wolverine that got the Wolverine label, and I will be buried with that for sure. Well, we got Chico here. For someone who's never sent stuff for signatures, what are the basics? Think of sending some stuff from Bagley and Dave McLean. Never done so before. Okay, so it's a good time to do a little exposition on this. So what we're going to do is when the show is over today, each facilitator that we have chosen, and Comic Conline will also share it also, will share all the facilitators that we are working with for your signature needs. They'll have price breakdowns. They'll have how many spots they have for sketches or whatever else. Basically, you're going to just send your book to them. They'll be able to, collect the books for you. We're doing things in a 5-week window. So March 1st will be your cutoff date for anything you want to send in. After March 1st, we will not be accepting books for any of these guys. The books will be collected, sent to each creator. We will make sure they are all signed. If there are double signs, they will get done. They will be sent to CGC or CBCS respectively, and they'll get sent back to you. Super easy. All you got to do is send in the books, make sure you pay up on your invoice and everything, and you will get taken care of.
Yeah.
And this is why we chose these guys between Agents of Slabs, Scott, Rich Henn, Twin Cities, Clan McDonald, is because these guys know how to do the paperwork. They know how to invoice very easily, and they're super pleasant customer service experience people. Unlike Corey, who still needs to work on his customer service voice.
I mean, if you do a good job, you never really
laugh out over there.
Service aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't ever really have to listen to me. I just do the good job.
Just do the good job. That's it. So
I do the good job. I mean, Greg does a good job.
Greg does a fantastic job.
Greg does a very good job. Greg handles a lot here so that I can handle a lot of other stuff.
I'm gonna put a question up. We're probably gonna refer to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
it's Mark Strong. I have Stanley signed CGC yellow label. Can I add McLean? Yes, you can.
You just crack it.
You crack the book, or we'll have one of the guys offer a cracking service for you. The book will be kept with the yellow label. With the invoice, will have the number on it. Yep, there's Rich Henn. I can crack existing yellow label SIG books. He can do that. So if you have a Spider-Man 300 that's signed by Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane, for example, and you're saying, I want to add David onto it, give it to someone like Rich Henn. They can crack the book out for you. They'll keep the label with it. The label will take the entire journey with it. It'll be signed. It'll be given to CGC. You'll have your Stan and Todd dates, and you'll have a brand new date with Dave on there. And maybe you want to add a label onto that. Maybe you want to make the Venom label out of it. So super easy. Anything that's yellow label that you want to submit for more signatures, it can be done. You will not get that dreaded green label. Yep. There's Rich Henn. Facilitators need to crack existing signature series slabs. You heard it from the source.
Yep. Yeah, so Mark, don't crack it. One of the things we're going to be providing to with this is with all the facilitators that we have, and being as we are very close to CGC geographically, Comic Conline is, as well as Agents of Slabs, we will be providing updates very, very often about everybody's progress in the signing, which is, I know a lot of facilitators do that, but you'll be able to. We're hoping to be able to provide so many updates so frequently that you won't feel the need to ask us anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you will never be in the dark of where your book is.
Yep. Because we're working on something very special with CGC that they're you may get to see things going forward. Can't reveal too much more, but we'll talk about it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm excited.
It's the phone call that we got to have you make later.
Gosh. Okay.
You're gonna love it.
Okay, that's fun. I look forward to that. So I think we're going to jump off for a couple minutes and start getting ready for Mr. Leonardi.
Yep.
See you guys in a couple minutes.
bring them up when they're ready. Oh yeah. All right, guys. We're back. We'll have Rich and Rick on shortly. One thing I wanted to touch base on, I got a message from one of our CGC facilitators who wanted me to let fans know that if you have a CBCS Yellow Label book, you will not be able to get CGC Yellow Label. It would be CGC Yellow with the green stripe. So if anybody has a CBCS book and you're wanting to send in for like the gentleman earlier that asked to get, there's a Stanley and somebody else and then wanted Leonardi on it, I believe, or
that was Mark Strong who wanted to get David on his Spider-Man 300.
And I guess his book is a CBCS book.
No, I think he has a CGC book. I think what we're trying to say here is that if you have a CBCS Yellow Label book and you would like to keep your CBCS Yellow Label book, you can go through Clan McDonald. If you are doing a CBCS Yellow Label book and would like to go through CGC, you will lose the Yellow Label portion of your CBCS book and get a yellow label for your CGC portion and a green stripe for your CBCS portion. There is no mix and matching.
Stephen Donald says, however, CBCS does honor CGC yellows.
That they do.
If you would like to make a transition from CGC to CBCS, they will have.
You can do that.
So Rick's here. We're going to go and pull him up.
All right. So the name we're all here to see. And that would be the switcher too.
It's Rick Leonardi.
All you do is you grab it.
Hey.
Over. There you
What's
go.
going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Pleasure to have you on. Very happy to see you.
How's that?
Perfect.
All right.
So, how's your 21 been going so far, bud?
Well, so far so good. The national news is positive. I haven't had my jab yet. Waiting for that. But
Waiting for it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in a high priority category. So.
Oh, me neither.
I'll just sit here in the studio and wait. How's that?
That's it. I'm right there with you. I don't think I'm seeing that thing till probably next year at this point. Corey's never going to see it. He's never going to see it.
I'm pretty sure we've all had it like 9 times already. Because, none of us really ever, the state never mandated us follow any kind of anything. We got to run around like a bunch of goofballs the whole time.
Well, I got to tell you, back in March of last year, I had my middle toe and my left foot got big and red and extremely painful for no reason at all, and it went away after 2 weeks.
Is that a thing with that?
And well, apparently it's one of the weirder symptoms possibly of COVID, was the so-called COVID toe. I had it.
COVID toe. That's awesome. See, for me, if I got a swelled up toe and I'm like, what is this? Maybe it's a bite. And based on the theme of the day, I would have tried to climb a wall. So that would have been me. So, but you're feeling good? You're feeling all right?
I'm feeling fine. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great.
You've been on the air already for a while. Yeah,
we just wanted to fill people in, get them all, up to date on everything we're doing. We're very happy to have you here. So the first things I kind of want to talk to you about, because I've been dying to talk about it, because my first time actually seeing you and being able to meet you kind of face to face. So I'm really excited about that. But you're credited with co-creating a couple of cool versions of Spider-Man that are still used and getting more popular as the days go on between Spider-Man 2099, and you had a lot of influence on the black suit. So
yeah, well, of course, these stories have been told in other spaces, but
sure.
But basically, yeah, the black costume should properly be credited to Mike Zeck, to be honest. But what he produced was a very quick version on a piece of scrap paper, which Jim Shooter then handed off to me and said, do a 3 view of this, a real technical, turnaround view so that people can use it.
Sure.
And in so doing, I introduced 1 or 2 little minor variations, and that's the version you see now. Yep. But Mike Zeck really probably his name should come first. Let's put it that way, as far as the black costume is concerned.
Gotcha. And then you have 2099 Spider-Man now.
Right, which of course feeds off that same costume design. And the story there is prior to the launch of the whole 2099 line, the first 4 books, there was a meeting, a secret meeting in an off-site location from the Marvel Studios. All the teams got together with Joey Cavalieri, and I think Tom DeFalco was there, and there was some discussion about the rudiments of a Bible for what the world of 2099 would look like. And then we kind of separated off into the 4 corners of the room, the teams, and tried to hash out what the characters would look like too. And Peter David, who was the writer, of course, said that he wanted a wall crawler. He wanted a guy who could actually climb walls, but he didn't want to use adhesives in the Peter Parker fashion. He wanted some other way of getting up a surface. And the only thing that was left, as far as my imagination was concerned, was little barbs on the end of your finger. So I think the very first sketch I ever produced for this book, for this title, for this character, was I had my little sketchbook with me, and I drew a hand with tiny little barbettes on the fingertips. And the rest is as you see.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a character that it's getting more popular. Like, he's in the video games, the cartoons. He was in the Edge of Spider-Verse movie, in the end credits scene too, which for Marvel is like, if you show up in the end credits scene now, that's almost more important than the actual movie.
I'm real curious to see how that goes. I'm for my money, the costume and the character really are tied in a way to the world of 2099. I mean, they function best in that environment.
Sure.
And so I'm kind of curious what they do. I can't imagine that they're gonna transplant the whole film franchise to Nueva York in 100 years from now.
Right.
I think they'll take the blue and red costume and bring it into the present, which will be, that'll be cool too if they can pull it off.
Oh yeah, I mean, they'll just be like, oh, he just happened to be in 2099. Now he's here for a little bit. We'll just pull him into this universe for a couple of minutes. But it's he's so vastly different than any other Spider-Man and very unique. Stands on his own legs as a phenomenal character, and one that they keep using. It's just great. You had hand in other aspects of 2099's universe too, with Fantastic Four?
Yeah. Well, things got a little sideways.
Okay.
towards the end of that, because about issue 21 or so, I had already rung up 2 or 3 or 4 fill-ins by that point, which I guess nowadays isn't all that atypical, but then was sort of pressing my luck. So that by issue 21, we were already discussing other things that I could switch off to, and one of those was the graphic novel, where there is in fact a time travel element where 2099 goes back. I think he goes back to the present day, and they bump in, the 2 Spider-Mans bump into each other, and I think there's a Venom shows up in that thing.
Sure.
So that was a lot of fun. And then once that was done, rotating back to the continuity of Spider-Man 2099, I guess, wasn't an option. So I got farmed out to Fantastic Four 2099, and I spent weeks producing 2099 Fantastic Four costume designs, just racks and racks and racks of possibilities, and probably took too much time doing that. So we only got 1 issue. I think I got 1 issue and 2 covers out of that before it was time to go do something else, as they say.
Yes.
So,
some of the other stuff you've worked on that I'm a big fan of and everything is like you did run on Vision Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, that was before they were a thing, really.
Oh yeah.
mean, I didn't know they were a thing, but they were a thing. Bill Mantlo, yeah, Bill Mantlo was, I think, was the first guy to put them, together as a couple and in a suburban house in Leonia, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That was, and that was kind of a big responsibility for a guy like me who was at that point still a real noob, to be honest with you.
Because that's early 80s time we're looking at right now.
Yeah,
for that book.
it was in 81. That was even before Cloak and Dagger. So we're talking prehistory. Yeah.
And how much have you been able to see any of the stuff Marvel's been doing lately between Cloak and Dagger on TV or the WandaVision stuff? Have you been able to kind of look at any of that?
I saw a little bit of the Cloak and Dagger series, season 1, and discussed it actually. That was back when we were doing conventions.
God.
And a lot of the conversations I had with people then was that they liked the modifications to the characters, and they liked the direction and the feel of the thing, but it was so slow paced. It's like, come on, go, get them into costume, start, crank up the CGI generator, let's go. So I think they may have taken taken their time a little bit too much there for their own good. And as far as WandaVision, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
So when seeing these things on the screen, you see things that maybe a concept that you came up with or characters that you came up with. Do you ever have to track down the royalties for these things? Because we had spoke with Shane Davis a few months ago about some things. He'd have to track down stuff with creating the Red Lantern Corps, and he'd have to actually hunt that stuff down.
No, I'm unfortunately, my attitude is it's pennies from heaven. I mean, if it shows up, it shows up. I don't go looking for it. I wouldn't know where to start. Supposedly, way back in the day, I think, Carl Potts was one of the first guys to go in there with a forensic auditor and comb through and look for anything that he was owed. And that was not shall we say, that was not a profitless exercise.
Yeah.
So
I'd also like to say,
I have no doubt I'm owed tons of money, but what am I going to do about it?
I mean, I'd like to say the most terrifying thing I've heard all day is the phrase forensic auditor.
Yeah.
That is a super villain.
Thing I saw too is the barbs on the fingers. Now, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man, they utilized that barb on the fingers. Do you recall that? To a degree?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that's something you're like, hey, that's mine?
Well,
I'm not like that's mine, but the aha moment, something I created. I'm on, it's in a movie.
Yeah, but doesn't then he go on to do things where it would really only work with adhesives, like glomming, palming things, and
that's what always weirded me out about Spider-Man. Like, he can climb a wall, do all that cool stuff, but like you could watch him open a jar, no problem. But then he gets stuck on something else, and
right.
he's the most haphazard superhero.
Well, and to be honest, I mean, and Into the Spider-Verse, that was kind of the niftiest bits was when he couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Oh man.
No, yeah, that's the stuff that's great with that. Now with Spider-Man, here's something I always wanted to ask you. What was like your first exposure to the character where you're like, oh, I kind of want to dive into that, or that's something I'd like to do in the future. Like, what was your first exposure to Peter Parker and his world?
As a young reader,
as a fan, all that stuff.
No, there was 5 or 6 of us. This is probably like got to be 5th grade, 6th grade. There was a bunch of us who were starting to trade them back and forth. Kids across the street had boxes of them. Particularly, and this would be like the Fred Foswell run, Kingpin, hands off Tubby.
Yep.
That whole stuff. I remember getting a guy across the street.
Oh, Rick, I think you're breaking up on us, bud.
It's kind of windy down here, so look out. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No. I remember trading back and forth and getting a lot of that Ramita stuff. Prior to, I traded for the Ramita stuff and I bought a lot of the Gil Kane stuff, and then bought, kept reading right up through about issue 121. I thought the Gil Kane inked by J.R. Senior, I thought that was probably the best Spider-Man ever from my personal point of view.
Oh, agreed.
And then when Jerry Conway killed Gwen, I was like, that's it, I'm done. Out. So
all right, so that's,
I'm one of those guys.
You're Gwen Stacy should have lived the whole time guy.
Gwen all the way.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh man, so you probably saw Mary Jane, and you're like, no, you're not Gwen. Gotta think for blondes.
Nothing against redheads, but Gwen was the bomb.
Yep, Gwen was cool. They utilize her in a way cool way now. Like, you've seen Spider-Gwen, I assume. Who hasn't at this point?
Yeah, I a personal pet peeve of mine, I do not get asked enough for Spider-Gwen sketches at cons. So, hey, come on.
Everybody watching and listening, you heard it now. Rick wants to draw you Spider-Gwens.
That's the thing to do, man. You go into cons and you see an artist and they want to draw something, ask them to draw that. You're going to get a really good version of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you miss conventions? Do you miss all that?
I do. I'm kind of, I feel like I'm just sitting here getting real stale. But it's the funnest thing about shows is going up and having people roll up and ask for stuff that you're like, oh, that'll be a challenge.
Yeah.
See if we can make a story out of that.
Because you probably get requested to do 2099 more than anyone else. Probably.
Yeah, a lot of 2099. Cloak and Dagger, of course.
Cloak and Dagger. What's the most like obscure thing someone has asked you to do as a commissioner or anything where you're like, oh, that sounds fun and challenging?
Well, I got asked for OMAC a couple of years ago, but then but come to find out there was sort of a run on OMAC. I don't know why, but OMAC had OMAC. There was a little bump in the OMAC market for some reason.
Probably got announced for some movie or somebody saw something in the background somewhere. Yeah.
So
now you're currently working on I don't know if we can talk about this graphic novel that you're working on.
Yeah, this is something I have been percolating for a long time. I remember it's a military strip, and I remember going on to Oceana Naval Air Station onto the flight line there for a tour back when. This would be like 2002, 2003. And I was already doing preliminary sketches for this thing then. So this has taken a long time to kind of come together and fester, if you like. But yeah, it's military, but there's a superhero element. And I'm playing with the juxtaposition of those two worlds. And I mean, the pitch, if there is one, is basically that the traditional superhero formula, the paradigm is you get a teenager, you get somebody in that somewhere between 12 and 18, 12 and 20 years old who has a kind of this chromosomal thing happens and they develop a superpower, and then they have to figure out how to deal with it, and a strange bald guy in a wheelchair shows up and says, hey, come on to my house and I'll give you a costume and training. And then they go and that character, that person is sequestered with other similarly gifted individuals, and they forge a team and they go out and they right wrongs, or failing that, they wait around for similarly leotarded teams of similar aged and powered people who somehow have a more negative view of the world to show up, and then they have fights for issue after issue after issue. I wanted to kind of break out of that and say, you know, what happens if this hypothetical teenager, this young adult, has this sort of chromosomal moment, but is already in a context, in an environment where they're obligated. They've already, you know, raised their hand and taken an oath.
Right.
You know, can't leave with the bald guy. I got to stay here and do my job. So, without saying much more, that's basically where I'm headed with this thing.
That's cool. That's like the real sense of duty. I like that.
I never
Well,
thought.
in essence, that's the theme I want to get at. I mean, without getting real subversive, I mean, Stan Lee's thing is, with great power comes great responsibility. But the stories I want to tell are stories where contrast, compare. We have people who have accepted enormous responsibility, but don't have powers, don't have invulnerability, are as liable as you and me to get hurt, but take that responsibility on just the same. So we're going to have a little discussion about the true essence of heroism here, in a way.
No, that's awesome. It sounds like a very moral tug of war type story.
Well, yeah, and that's only going to come through if I have fruitful conversations with my writer. I mean, those are my concepts, but the guy who's actually going to voice this whole thing, if you like, is Ron Mars. He's going to, we're going to have some conferences, high-level conferences.
One thing I noticed is on rickleonardi.com/upcoming is you talk about the upcoming graphic novel, and on a table you have just an array of inked pages. Now, is that for this, or is this?
No, that's this. If you can.
Okay. So if you guys want to maybe get a little a sneak peek and kind of guesswork here, if you go to that website, you'll be able to see what he has on the webpage.
Yeah, and actually, I've been doing that right along on Twitter too. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can paw through each successive image. And I suppose if you make them high res enough, you can move them around and try and get them in order and figure out what the story's doing.
Fun activity. Where can they find you on Twitter?
Good question. I mean, it's at Rick_Leonardi, I think.
In just a second, I'll
look that up.
Get that.
I can look that up.
Twitter is
Twitter.com/Rick_Leonardi.
Yep.
There you are. Greg, thank you for doing that in the background over there, our engineer for the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll let you get back to it then. We thank you so much for coming out. It was a real honor, man. It really was.
No.
And so everyone knows, Rick will be taking the signing with us. He's doing a couple of remarks as well. Very limited amount of spots on those. You can reach out to all the facilitators when the show is over for who you want to go through, and Rick will sign whatever you got for him. And like I said, some of those remark spots are available, and I will definitely be taking one of them. Oh, what do we got? We got some Cloak and Dagger. Where are we pointing?
Now, I was looking at Cloak and Dagger there. But...
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger was awesome.
So, all right.
Yeah, my book for my sketch for you will be right on top. I'm going to have it there, and I'm going to have my name written in big bold letters.
Well, that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be like a slice of con life.
Slice of con life from home, which is even better. Yeah, last thing I want to say, thank you to Dino from Agents of Slabs for helping you get you connected with us, Rick. That was awesome of him. Yep. All right,
guys.
Go to his Twitter, go to his webpage, follow him, buy stuff from the man, do everything. Get you some 2099 stuff.
Legend.
Wash your hands, wear a mask, and we'll see each other, when we see it.
Soon enough.
Okay.
Soon enough. Mr. Leonardi, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was fun, man. That dude's that's a legend there.
Oh yeah, Rick's great. That was my first time ever getting to basically speak to him in person. Close enough. We all miss con life. We do
so much, dude. I mean, the one thing about I do love these. I wish that after these events that we have, that we could go out to that dinner or something like that. I suppose we could sit here and have a nice cheeseburger while staring at each other uncomfortably. But
we could do that. We could do a show one day just at like what time were dinners usually at cons? They'd be at like 8 to like 12 o'clock in the morning, and it would just be like shoving your face full of everything. So we'll do a Comic Conline eats stream where we just eat food after one of those 8-hour shows we do.
It could be a thing. I mean, it really should be. At the end of every show, if we do like a 2-3 day event, again in the future, at the end of every one, like we got some pizza delivered, we all sit here, we all chat. We could even bring some fans on screen and just talk to them.
Right. Yeah.
Ask them what their favorite parts were.
See, if we really want to make it like a con experience, what we could do is like you could be talking, and then we'll have just 8 or 9 people just run up behind you while you're talking, asking prices for things and thumbing through books and stuff, and get the real experience going.
Yeah.
The amount of creators I've ever had to talk to at a show, they're always like, "What? What'd you say?" So, no, that's great. Talking to Rick is fantastic. Human being. We're gonna have
that?
What?
Did you draw that?
Yeah. Did you draw that? Is that you? How long did that take you? So no. So reminding everybody now that Rick has left the building that we will be our facilitators we were talking about earlier. We'll be taking in submissions for Rick Leonardi. I believe he is $25 a signature, $50 a remark. There's a very limited spots. Each facilitator, I think, is getting 5 spots for Leonardi. Yeah, because he's around 20 spots. But great dude. I'm gonna get something. I highly recommend everybody watching should definitely get that as well. So when we come back, we're gonna have Pat Gleason.
Yeah,
this guy. I have mine.
Yeah, I totally ripped half of that image and used it as a promo.
Yes, you did, and it was great choice.
Yes, credit to Pat. I should have put after Pat on there, shouldn't I?
Yeah, it's Pat's image. I mean, it's not like the stupidest thing I've heard so far online is that when he came out with the Carnage event, people are like, he's homaging himself. It's like, no, it's a series. That's how art works.
You can't. I mean, Neil Adams can homage. Neil Adams can homage himself, especially when it's like 30 years between the covers. But if it's like 2 weeks after you put the cover out, you are choosing an art style for that particular run.
Yeah.
Like Art Germ Collectibles, the Golden Age variants that we've done.
Right.
That's not an homage. Those covers are nothing near the same except for the palette, the color palette.
There you go. So yeah, I guess we're gonna hop off for a bit of a short break and then come back with Pat.
That's right.
See you in a couple minutes. I think. Are we back?
We are
We're
back.
Everybody just saw me looking like an idiot for 2 seconds. Like what?
I had my face buried down into the camera, so.
Pat Gleason.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up? I was just
Hey,
showing
how you
off. I was just showing off this, which is very cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen that around a few places.
I had my face buried down into the camera, so. Is that me?
Corey's talking to himself from the future or the past.
There we go.
There you go. What's up,
I think I had
Pat?
some
How you
feedback
doing?
going. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Surviving.
Surviving. Well, I gotta say, this is a lot easier to prep for than going out of town to take a convention trip. So,
So you
Works
would
for
not
me.
fall in the category of missing conventions that much as far as travel.
No. Don't get me wrong. I miss the conventions a ton. My kids, actually this morning, my kids set up their own convention, I think in honor of this. So they had like their own little table set up and their drawings and stuff. And because they miss going to conventions too. So yeah, it's something I can't wait to get back to at some point, so, but this is good too.
Yeah.
If your kids want to come on the show, we will give them a spot and they can sell their stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man. I'll let them know. I think they're a little camera shy, but I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah. Send,
Here, wait, I
send
think I
pictures of the convention table. We will put it up on
Here,
the site.
I'll show you. My son did this. This was from the spoilers if you watch the latest Mandalorian episode or one of the latest ones.
Claim starting at $50. No,
Yeah, let's start. No, that's for me. That's my Christmas. present.
okay.
That has a much better Boba Fett that I could ever draw. That Stormtrooper's on point too.
It really is. I mean, the detailing is it's out of this world, man. So anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, thanks for having me on it, and I'm really excited to be on here, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, no,
Good to
we're
see you.
excited to have you because that webhead cover is big deal. A lot of people loving it. So I'm going to just jump right into and ask, where's the inspiration for that come from?
Yeah. I was trying to remember the other day when I came up with it. I have a sketchbook, and usually I'll have an idea of something and I'll just do a really quick sketch in it and I save it. And it's my go-to for like when an editor asks for a cover, do you have any ideas? And rather than come up with something on the spot, I just look back at what I may have come up with a month ago. And so no one was asking for that cover, but I was going through my sketchbooks and looking at stuff and going, what should I be doing? And I saw that one. I'm like, man, this would be really cool to do as a sketch and just put it up in my shop to sell. And I thought, you know what? I bet this could be a cover though. And I have this. I just saw this the other day. Marvel put out this Stormbreakers free thing.
Young Guns.
So, I'm not a young gun. I'm a Stormbreaker, dude. Stormbreaker.
Young Gun.
But I was looking through here and I forgot. I sent it to him. So it's actually the sketch that I did. You can see it. This might be the first printing of it, actually. So literally, that was just a sketch in my sketchbook, and
That book just shot up in value.
I know.
Sure
So
did.
yeah, there you go. It was free, so you can find one. Yeah, no. So I went.
on eBay in a minute.
Was that?
There'll be $50 on eBay in just a minute.
That's fine. That's great. I took it. I went to Marvel because I knew ASM 850 was coming up, and I definitely wanted to do a variant. So I showed it to them, and I said, "Hey, it'd be cool as like kind of an iconic image. I'm not sure where this would fit. It doesn't have anything to do with any stories or anything, so it might be cool on like a 850 or even number 50." And they liked it a lot, but I think they had other ideas that they wanted me to do, and so they said, we'll put it in. In one of the other issues. We're not sure where yet. And I said, that's fine. So I did it up, and they said, we'll do it on 55 on the last issue of The Last Remains story, which that was what it was at the time. I think it might have changed a little bit story-wise since then. But at that time, it was just in the black and white like I showed you. It wasn't, I hadn't colored it yet, which, I told them I wanted to color it. And my original plan was just to do like a red background. And I started messing around with it, and I basically flipped the colors, and I did some, tweaking, and came up with the webbing. Because I had also been playing digitally with drawing webs in the interior stuff, and I had come up with a system that I liked, and I was trying to mimic that because that's a traditional board that wasn't really done digital. So it all just kind of came together, and sent it in, and then as soon as I sent it in, I started hearing back from people at Marvel it was going around and people were loving it, and I'm like, hey, that's cool. And then I heard they're doing a poster of it, and I'm like, oh wow, that's cool too. And it's just kind of taken off from then. And I've had a lot of pros and people like, reach out and compliment and just say really, really nice things. But really, I was glad to be able to do it. It's such a weird kind of concept sketch, and that's one of the great things that I've been enjoying doing at Marvel is they let me do stuff like that. It's not always just a splash or a cool like action shot. Although I like doing those too, but I like if you look back at some of my other stuff, I've done concept sketches with there's a Batman and Robin with a Joker mouth in the shape of a bat,
Right.
Or like there was a action comics with Superman flying on an American flag kind of sky. So I like doing things like that. They're not always the easiest sell sometimes, so I'm really glad this one made it through, and so kudos to Marvel for letting me do it.
It's a great high concept cover because in the fact that it's Spider-Man's webbing, but it's organic looking.
Yeah,
it's not just the webbing on the mask that you would see anywhere. It's like it's an actual spider web, which is a simple yet brilliant concept that I personally had never seen before.
I couldn't believe, like, seriously, that no one had done it. Really, I was like, I'm sure someone's done this before. I'm, like it's out there somewhere, and someone's going to tag me and say, oh, so and so did this already, and it just made sense to me, I think. And really, it's kind of a funny thing because it's everyone focuses on the Spider-Man, but to me, the focus on that cover is the spider actually, and you'll notice on the other covers that I got to do since then, the Carnage and Venom one, I had to make sure I put the spider in there too because it's really a spider cover. So it's about this little spider making these webs. So that's just in my own head how I think of it. So
and we'll also see. For anyone that didn't see the little hidden Pat skull too.
Yes,
which are fun little Easter eggs that you put into almost all your covers and eat up definitely like hours of my time because I'm like, where is it? Why can't I find it?
It's a fun game. I've been doing that since I can't remember when, like since I started hiding this little Pat skull in there, and now being online, I like putting it up there and letting people look for it. Although on this last Venom cover, I put up an earlier draft where it wasn't in there, so I felt so bad. I think I posted it on Facebook, and the final draft was on the other. So I had people saying, "I'm looking, I can't find it." And I'm like, "I can't find it either. I think I left it out." So if you can't find it, it might just be because I left it out. But
that's a horrible practical joke to play on fans. We sit and look at days. Set up like a giveaway. First person that finds it wins something.
There's only been a couple that I haven't done it on in the past, and there's one that's really hard to find. It's a Batman and Robin. But yeah, no, it's what I like doing. I just do it for myself. It's just kind of a fun thing. And I never thought to tell people it's there, but people started looking and it just kind of caught on. So, but yeah, and on these web covers, I mean, it was always kind of the plan to do, these series of covers. So it fits in perfectly because it's kind of organic. I can work it in there really nice. So yeah, it's just a fun little game, something to do. It doesn't cost anything, just your precious time.
The Venom one I absolutely love because the spider's hanging off the tongue.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the Carnage one's good. The Carnage one, they were like, we're not waiting. This is coming out now. So that's on Carnage Red. What is it? Red, Black, and Blood, or is it Red, White, and Blood?
I don't know. It sounds right to me. Sure, whatever.
Sure.
It's funny because it's like I'm kind of at the whim, the mercy of Marvel scheduling. I didn't expect these to come out like bam, bam, bam. I didn't know when they were going to come out. I have a list of covers to do, and they just put them out when they think it's best. And so that Carnage one was actually kind of a surprise. I had planned on putting the Venom one out first. I didn't think the Carnage one was going to come out for a while, and Carnage came out on like Thursday, the day before, basically, or Wednesday.
Yep.
And Marvel released it actually a couple hours after I sent it to them. I literally sent the file in, and then I got texts from people saying, "Hey, look at this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm kind of, the schedule. So the Venom exclusive cover and the Carnage thing, they kind of got double stacked, which was fine. It worked out. It made things a little crazy, but I wish. If people would understand like the craziness behind the scenes, and JJ from JJ's Comic Art has been huge help. He's just been great, like working on behind the scenes on packaging and helping with emails and getting all this stuff organized. So
you definitely have him chained to that shipping station.
He's well, he can't leave. I mean,
no,
I
can't.
tell him
it's not allowed.
He's not allowed to leave. If they lifted the quarantine today, like he'd still have to be in there. So
excellent.
So where else are you gonna go? You're not going anywhere. So.
You're not going anywhere. Sorry, I've never seen a turnaround on a series of covers where people just like were frantic and just going nuts and stuff, and it's actually very welcomed change of pace compared to the way all of 2020 went. So
yeah, I figure get it out there and we'll just have fun with it. It's been really exciting to see people's response to it. I never in a million years dreamed that people would love this stuff as much as they have, and seeing fans' excitement is like. It just fuels me for more. So I'll leave it at that. So read into that what you may, but and also going back to the Venom spider and the tongue thing, that was JJ's idea. I had it somewhere else and he said, how about if it comes off the tongue? So props to JJ for that.
Props to JJ on that one then. Damn.
There may even be a hidden JJ somewhere in that cover. I'm not sure if I got that.
I think too. You've had the three covers released, and they've all sold out just bam, bam, bam. I don't think, at least since COVID, I don't think anybody short of maybe a J. Scott Campbell has been able to do that.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
This is like literally a mom and pop type organization here. Like, so when that sold out, bam, 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 that first ASM cover, it's I was told it's not going to sell out. You'll be lucky if it sells out. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Let's give it a shot. Sold out in a week, and then the second printing sold out in an hour, and then that Venom I think sold out in like 15 minutes. It was just crazy. I didn't even realize that it sold out when I was still tweeting about it, and it was sold out already. So yeah, it's been really cool. Fans have been like. The majority have been very patient and understanding that, I'm not a J. Scott Campbell. This is not what I normally do. My day job is drawing comics, so I want to expand it, obviously. And this is what I've been wanting to do. I just never dreamed that people would show up like they have. So it's been really great.
No, yeah, it's definitely wonderful. Now to just talk about Spider-Man in general, like how does it feel as a fan, as an artist and all that stuff to be working on that character right now? Like it's a character that seems like most artists strive to work on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, look, when I was a kid, again in that Stormbreakers book, you'll see the pictures of me. I was a Marvel kid. I grew up just reading. I was a Marvel kid in the early 90s. So,
good time to be a Marvel kid.
It was a great time to be a Marvel kid. I'm going to show you a really embarrassing picture in here real quick. But actually it's cool. This was my I don't know if you can see this. It's in the book again. This is 16-year-old Pat.
Oh yeah.
You can see all the Spidey stuff and the Venom stuff. I think I got that desk on my birthday. It's
your Bagley poster there.
I still got the Bagley stuff. So I got into Spider-Man. Me and my friend started buying comics. Marvel I came in kind of sideways. Like I got into like G.I. Joe comics because I was a big G.I. Joe fan. And then I discovered Spider-Man and X-Men. And I was reading Bagley stuff. So, that early 90s, the late 300s stuff. And then I started going back and rereading, McFarlane and Larson and, all that late 200s up to late 300s. That was my sweet spot, like everyone else at the time. So
yeah, that's definitely a phenomenal sweet spot to be in. That's a lot of great stuff going on, especially on the art front of it. So.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. And then the 2099 stuff came out. So you got Rick, doing his thing. And I'm like, so when I came, Spidey was always like the bucket list. Like I got to do Batman and Superman, but never got to do Spidey. And when I came over to Marvel, they said, what do you want to do? And I said, Spidey. I got it. I don't care. And I'd read Nick Spencer's run and with Ryan Otley. And I was like, if you guys could find a way for me to fit in there, I would love to do that. And it just so happened like Humberto was stepping off to go work on Scotty's book on Strange Academy. So it worked out really well. I'm happy to be working on Spider-Man and my goal was always to be kind of a Spider-Man artist, I guess, if that makes sense, rather than like a Marvel artist. Although there's a ton of stuff at Marvel I'd like to do, but I really wanted to make some sort of impression on Spider-Man. And it's just kind of the goal I set. and I got to
Nailed
come
it.
on and do 2099 stuff, and it's just been great. It's been really cool.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I mean, to utterly nail that, like as a bucket list, to come on and just create one of the greatest. When people were talking about the Spidey covers, like instant classic, and that's what I thought too. I looked at like this cover's amazing, and all the stuff. And Nick Spencer, what a great run he's having on that book.
He is. He's really. I mean, he's really just been. It's been great. I feel really like kind of honored to be able to come on and work alongside Ryan and Nick and it's been great. I'm working on a script right now that's for 61. That's really fun. And I can't say too much about it. You guys have seen like the new Spider-Man suit. I didn't do the design. I can't remember who did it, but I'm having a lot of fun with that one too. And yeah, Nick's been great. He's been great. So
that's an interesting suit.
It is. I think there's a mixed reaction. I think, but when you read the story, it'll all make sense, and it serves the purpose of the story. It's the Last Remains story. It's pretty creepy, and dark, and I like doing creepy and dark. I also like doing kind of fun and lighthearted stuff. So it's definitely a change of pace. And Nick is really good at writing just funny stuff. I mean, he's one of the few Spider-Man writers that actually makes me laugh out loud when I read his stuff. So yeah, and it's fun to work those different muscles with the kind of the comedic timing and body language, which all the characters I've worked on, I've enjoyed having different, flexing different muscles for, how they interact and their body language. And Spidey is no exception, obviously. So, although Batman has one expression, and that's, you can't do much about that.
Yeah, right. Like you're never going to be in that scenario where you're drawing Batman smiling like ear to ear or anything like that. So,
although we did a couple times, a couple
times.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's got more expression in his masked eyes than Batman does for 90% of his existence.
If you draw Batman smiling, does it feel wrong? Like you're doing something wrong when you draw him smiling?
Yeah, it's a little weird, but it's kind of like you're worried, like, is he going to punch me now? Like you're off guard, So no, when we did it, I think we did it twice. I drew him smiling on. There was a Batman Catwoman issue, and it was the last page where they saved a girl, I believe. And then our very last issue of our Batman Robin run with Batman and Robin after he had come back to life. And it was good. It was a good feeling. It made sense for the story. I think he can crack a smile every once in a while. But that's just the fun of comics. The more variety, the better. I always say so.
Sure. Now, since you're in Spider-Man's world and Marvel and all that stuff, just out of curiosity, if they were to say, "Hey, do you want to do something outside Spider-Man for the hell of it?" Any character of your choice. What character would you want to kind of like dive into? Would it be someone like a Daredevil or a Punisher or anything like that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I think I was actually I unboxed a bunch of my old books, my Marvel stuff, and I was looking at Punisher, and got Cap's 80th anniversary is coming up, so I know I'm a big fan of Captain America. I also like Nightcrawler a lot. I know he's getting in. I think he has a new book out now, or something new is happening with him. So, yeah, there's a ton of Marvel characters I'd love to work with, and a lot of people I'd like to work with too. It's been really nice. Look, I was at DC for 20 years.
Yep. And
I worked with just the greats. I worked on all these great characters, and I really feel blessed to have got to do that. And so, going over to Marvel, it's kind of like I'm the new guy again, and it's a good feeling to kind of have a lot of this stuff in front of you and see it's not just what I'm doing, but like what all the other creators are doing. And there's a lot of, I've had a lot of opportunity to talk to people that are working on different books. And even though my head is down and I'm not following along as closely as I used to be, like when I worked at the comic book store, like it's just really cool to see like kind of fresh blood and like exciting stuff happening and cool ideas out there. So, and Marvel's been like very supportive. I think they'd be happy to let me do other things if I wanted to. I never say never. It's just kind of where the work goes and how things work out. I'm always open to anything. So it's
that's great. I mean, like it's great to watch an artist of your caliber who is leaving a mark wherever they go. And just doing all these cool, great stuff. JJ, I'm heading out to drop off things.
Thanks, JJ. Look at that.
Boy, JJ.
he doesn't stop. He just goes, and he's doing a yeoman's work there. So
it's funny talking to JJ about this the shipping situation with everything, because when it started, he's so excited and vibrant, and I think I talked to him yesterday, and he sounds like he could have been right out of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, you know, just like going to the post office again. You know, it's just been great. But that's a testament to the product you've put out. The Virgin variants are awesome.
Oh,
and
thanks.
I'm hopeful that we'll get one of those Carnage Virgin variants eventually. Fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
JJ might, keel over, but that would be great. We should just do. I don't know, JJ, you up for that?
Yeah.
Up for another one?
I'll let JJ comment on that one, because quite frankly, he's been telling me he's been drowning for like a week, like 2 weeks now, and I'm like, wow, you're taking a long time to drown out here, buddy.
Well, see, he's meticulous, and that's one of the things that I love about it is, when I'm shipping my own stuff here, I know packaging. Like, I learned the hard way. Packaging is really, really important, and it's important to me. It's important to fans, and JJ thinks that times like 11. Like he goes all out on this stuff. He's kind of a beast at packaging stuff. So like, he's exhausted because he's going the extra mile to make sure everything looks great and putting all that love and care into there that only JJ can do. So I appreciate it. And if anyone is waiting for a pat mark that I took before all this stuff avalanche down on top of me, I'm so sorry. You're just gonna please be patient. I'll get to them because this thing was just like a runaway monster, and I still have to draw comics on top of this. So it's all been good though.
Yeah, it's like getting hit by a freight train followed by a couple of more right after.
Oh yeah, it doesn't stop. Yeah. There's no time off. It just piles up if you miss it. So it's but we work through it, and it's what I love doing anyway. So it's all good.
Yeah, and to add on to your woes and stresses, you will be doing a signing with us.
I will. Is that a good setup for that?
Yeah, that's perfect setup.
We need to talk about that. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course. Yeah, happy to do it.
Yeah. So basically, at the end of this interview, all that information for your signing will go up to all our facilitators, whether it be Agents of Slabs, Rich Hen.
To death with messages.
What's up?
I said those poor facilitators are about to get beat to death with messages.
I know.
Send them on. Just pour them on. It's all good.
Gives me
when
great
else are you going to get this opportunity? This is your chance.
Yeah, this is it. These books are out now, and I know I'm going to be sending my Spider-Mans and Venoms that I am getting and all that stuff, and I'm sending those on over. I need those in my life. They got to go up on the wall. They're going to be on the wall.
Cool, man. I love doing CGC stuff, and CGC's been great helping out with all this stuff, and so just a shout out to them and Brittany too if you're out there. So
she's watching.
Was that
and also like those your work on Spider-Man already gained notoriety because I was texting you while I was at John Romita Jr.'s house.
Yes, that was so cool. I didn't realize you were there at the time. Like, otherwise I would have been more like put him on and like I would have been a little more engaging. But I was also drawing in the middle of it. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then I came back and I'm like, oh, that's even cooler. So yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I got to say that. I'm going to show everybody what he did for you. I'll be right back.
He did something for me. That's so cool.
That's one of the things too. Is I'm going to send my copy of that book, and I'm sending it. Oh, wow!
Right?
That's awesome. It's inked. That's beautiful.
By inked, you mean Sharpie, but it's still wonderful.
That's great. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So John saw Pat's cover, and the first thing he said was, "Wow, that seems very complex and daunting." Did the side profile? He's like, "I think that's it. I think that's as good as I got it." He's like, "Give this to him." But it was fantastic to know that's like, you're on the right trajectory when like these Spider-Man artists are like, "Oh, I know exactly who that is." Yeah. So,
no, it's crazy to me. Again, like as someone who started out. Like, I worked at a comic book store, and I did pulls, and I was called Diamond because I couldn't do it online back then. Because that's stone tablets and carrier pigeon. But yeah, no, to be able to now talk to these people that are heroes of mine, it's just really cool. So I really appreciate it, and thank you very much, Rich and JR. So everyone for setting that up. That's great.
Yeah, no, we're very happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll have all that signing information put up after us. Know you're a very busy man. I know you have tons of books to draw and pat marks, and we're going to be sending you tons of books. So you post up over there, and you're snowed in anyway, it looks like.
I'm snowed in anyway. Yeah, I've got the snow backdrop. I live up in Minnesota, and there's not much to do in January, February, Minnesota anyway. So it's all good. Send as much as you want to send in. That would be beautiful.
Fantastic. So, Pat,
remember
thank you very much.
Package comes in. I want you to remember you said that.
Well, I didn't say I'm going to do them all. Just send them to me.
Send as much. No guarantees on getting done.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Pat, thank you so much for coming on. We'll let you get back to it.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Stick around. Watch Mark Bagley, though.
I will. Tell him I said hello and
great work. Yourself?
What's
Will
that?
do.
You want to tell him yourself?
Sure. I don't know if I can, but if you work it out, I will.
Right here.
Awkward though.
Hey,
There's Mark Bagley.
Hey,
Pat.
there is. Hey, Mark.
God,
How
I
you
look bad.
doing?
What's up, Mark?
Oh, I look bad.
Oh,
Hey, Pat,
wonderful.
you know that poster you had behind you when you're 16, the one with the Venom Carnage? And
yeah.
my daughter's got the original on her wall.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I just
Yeah.
saw.
She's
Was
a
that
single
Tom
mom
Reed?
of she's a single mom of 3, and somebody just offered her $30,000 for it.
Wow.
And she's like, she calls me, Dad, should I? And I'm like, whatever you want to do, dear. It's up to you. But no, she didn't sell it, so it was good.
It's beautiful. It's one of those. It's one of those totally iconic, Mark Bagley drawings. And I remember it blew my mind as a kid when I picked that up, and all my friends I had multiple copies and on the
And
wall.
all I can see is the mistakes and the things I do different. So.
No, it's really cool. Was that Tom Brevoort? Was he the editor?
No, that was Danny Fingeroth was editing Spider-Man back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering whose idea that was. It was such a cool.
Oh God, man, that was 28 years ago, probably. So, I have known. How old are you?
40-ish.
Okay.
How old am I? 40. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. If you were 16, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I love that time in Marvel. When they did the posters and the like the things to come. Advertisements that never showed up in the books. They were their own. They were their own artwork, and it was really cool. So anyway, this is all behind the scenes stuff, but I've been working on pages and getting more reference from you. So it's all been just really cool to work kind of alongside you on that stuff. So
Well, thanks, I appreciate that. And it's just amazing being back on Amazing Spider-Man after all this, and that they would have me back when they got all these other guys who are just so damn good now. And it's like, oh yeah, let's bring the old guy back on. This stuff is still relevant, which just blows my fucking mind.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. I know. I get people point out that I do the bigger eyed Spider-Man, and I'm like, I'm just doing what Mark did. Like that was his thing. Like that's how I see Spidey in my head. So that's how it comes out on the page. So I don't know if I send you royalties or how that works. But let me
feel
know.
free. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's really good to meet you. I don't want to step on your time here too much, so I'm going to bow out. But thank you guys for having me and enjoy.
It's Pat, real pleasure, bud.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Something that when we started doing this, it's a lot of fun. I am a genuine comic fan, and to see on screen on the show the one of the most legendary Spider-Man artists ever, and a current guy doing big things, and they're just sitting here chatting and talking about Spider-Man. It's dude, I got chills from that.
Funny.
I'm gonna just say hi, Mark. How you been, bud?
I almost didn't recognize you with all the facial hair you got going on.
I know, right? The last time I saw you, I was clean shaven. We were at Terrificon, and you were drawing 392 X-Men on a cover.
How the hell can you remember that? Oh, I was doing that. I was down in Mexico last March. It was like the last con before the airports closed. And
right.
The colors for that book, whose name I can't remember right now, gave me a full-size poster that he had printed up of the whole thing.
Oh,
it's on a very thick vinyl. It's like 96 inches. It's just huge. I have no place to put it up. It's behind my desk. So,
wow.
It's pretty amazing. So, glad that thing's over with.
I remember you and I were looking through that. You're like, I'm drawing this one. They gave me reference. I have no idea who that is.
My camera's slipping. Hang on one second.
Sure.
Hold on. Let's slide over here. And are we on like the actual interview yet?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah, you're good.
Camera.
It's all good. No, you're good. It's all good. I dropped the camera and it fell over once and the whole thing, and it was very professional.
Well, I had one of these last weekend, speaking of unprofessional, and came in 30 minutes late. I just flat forgot about it. And, with a lot of stuff going on down here, so it's just, it's like I get this panicked email from Spencer Beck or text. Dude, you're supposed to be on 20 minutes ago. I'm like, oh, shit. So.
Well, we are very happy to have you on.
Thanks.
It's always a pleasure to have one of the most legendary Spider-Man artists of all time.
Just one of.
Yeah, you're the guy at this point. Marvel won't let you get off this book ever.
Well, no, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's it feel to still be doing Spider-Man all this time later? Like, is it over at this point?
I've been wanting to get back on the book for a while now because I just wanted to see how I would approach it now because my art keeps changing and I'm still growing as an artist, I think, until my eyes go and my hands go because I'm getting old. But it's been since I drew Amazing Spider-Man regularly, it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
And I did Ultimate Spider-Man, but that's a whole different kind of gig. So
Ultimate Spider-Man is fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, but I really wanted to see, what came out of me because I'm not one of these guys who can sit down and plan on drawing a certain way. It's what comes out of me. It comes out of me.
Right.
Which sounds wrong, but
it's Spider-Man, so it's right.
Yeah. So apparently, what's coming out of me is pretty good because they seem to enjoy what I'm doing. So
sure. Now, you have one of the most famous villain creations in Spider-Man history, and that's Carnage.
Who knew?
Yeah. Who knew? And you told me once you thought you were only going to draw him for one issue.
Well, I knew it'd be more than one issue. I mean, I knew he'd be around for a little while, but who knew 30 years later he'd be like this crazy popular character? It's like he's kind of like that close to Venom in popularity, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know what I told you back then? If I'd have known I'd be drawing him this long, I'd have made him easier to draw.
Yep. Absolutely.
Pain in the ass.
I think for the reasons though he stuck around is because he wasn't that easy to draw all the details and weird features that he had, and that's stuck with a lot of people. I know when I first time I saw him as a kid on the Maximum Carnage game because I wasn't quite into comics yet. Like that image, like, I'm stuck just seeing all that.
Yeah, he took off like gangbusters. I mean, I had more people coming up to me at cons. In the first issue he was in, he tosses a baby off a balcony, and Venom and Spider-Man jumped. I had more people. Would you sign this page where he tosses the baby off the balcony? I'm like, oh shit. Okay, yeah. But
it goes to show you the Carnage fan mindset too.
Exactly. They offered me when they gave Carnage his own book, 5 or 6 years ago, I guess.
Yep.
They offered me the art on it, and I turned it down. It's just not. It's so dark and so. It's just not what I want to do full time. I love doing horror. I love doing that now and then, but as a steady diet, plus he's, like I said, I enjoy drawing him more than I used to because I've started adding like textures and things, which I never used to do. Didn't have the time. And I thought about doing it. I think maybe I probably stole a few ideas from somebody better than me. And it's made him more interesting. You can get more of a dimensional look to him. Than you used to be able to. So that's made me more interesting to draw anyway.
Right. And Carnage is a character. He's even going to be in a movie, the next Venom movie. He's the villain. So
if they ever have a movie come out again, I mean,
if it ever comes out again, but as of right now, you got Woody Harrelson playing Carnage. So
which would have been great 15 years ago, 20 years ago, because he's
like Natural Born Killers era Woody Harrelson.
Long in the tooth to play Cletus Cassidy, but
a little bit.
I mean,
they can de-age him like
Cletus Cassidy when he played Mickey.
Huh?
To a degree, when he was in Natural Born Killers, I was kind of like Cletus Cassidy to a degree.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does crazy very well. We'll see. Maybe they can de-age him like they do the Marvel guys in the movies.
Yeah, they do that all the time, and
it's very well done nowadays. So
unless you're that Luke Skywalker one from Mandalorian, they're not as good.
That was bad. I imagine it's got to be expensive as hell to do. I mean, I really do. So budget wise, I'm sure they just cut as many corners as they could.
Yeah, probably, but
because Disney's got no money at all.
none. They're floundering. They have nothing.
Right.
They don't have. They can't throw around $1 million like that for no reason.
Exactly.
But yeah, and getting on to the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, that was a very, at the time when it came out, and still is a very unique concept where you're able to do fun designs with all the characters and everything. Something that people still talk about, and it's held in a very high regard. When you were doing that book and all that, did you think like this was something that was going to resonate as long as it has, or was it just, it's just a different version?
Well, I've told the story 1,000 times. I turned the book down 3 times.
Yep.
And it was presented to me as a 6-issue miniseries, but my head wasn't in a really good place at Marvel at the time, and John Byrne had just done his Spider-Man Year One thing, or whatever the hell that was, which had gone over like a fart in church, and I just turned it down. No, and I'd never heard of Brian, and they kind of put it to me where I was always kind of looking for a little extra work because I can do more than 1 book a month, but not 2. I said, look, if you don't take this, you kind of sort of won't be getting extra work. So I took it, and I really wasn't enthused about it. And the first script was like, I don't know what it was. It was a 30-page issue, I think, the first issue, but the script was like 70 pages long. I mean, it was like a novel.
Wow.
I'd never seen anything like it. I was like, what the hell is this? And it was a double-page spread with like 30 panels. I was like, I'm not fucking drawing this. Because I didn't know Brian yet, and we hadn't really talked much, and I just wasn't. It took about 3 issues to really connect on, get what he was doing, and even then, I still was going to get off the book. But with the first issue came out, and it looked so great, and it was so. I mean, it was crazy accepted by the fans, and we outsold Amazing Spider-Man for 10 years straight. So that's nothing to sneeze at.
No, that has nothing to sneeze at.
Back in the day when Wizard would do the rankings of what books selling, before internet, and every month that came out, and every month we were 3 or 4 or 5 spots ahead of Amazing Spider-Man or more. And I was like, this is good. I like that.
Right? That's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh my God, Wizard Magazine, what a throwback that just was just now.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. No, it's all great stuff. Every time you seem to be near the Spider-Man universe in any way, everybody always seems to get excited. I remember people, when you jump back on, very excited. The Venom Island stuff was very cool in the aftermath of Absolute Carnage.
Yeah.
Now, with that, you got to work with Donny Cates a little bit, who's been doing all this wild stuff with Venom lately. What have you been, and Carnage, it's just like, do you look at that and you're like, damn, that's actually like really cool? Or are you just sitting there like, this guy's crazy? Like, what's he doing?
Got it. All I know about it is kind of sort of what the ads and maybe a few articles online, that sort of thing. Because I really don't read much comics anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Any comics anymore. And I just, I kind of miss the days when Venom was just an alien symbiote and Carnage was just now it's this whole God thing, which is that, they expand everything out. So that's why writers have the harder job. They got to come up with all this weird shit.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I do look at like Ryan Stegman's stuff when the book comes out because I just love his artwork. Although I didn't like it for quite a while. I was just thinking it was rough, and until I saw his pencils. And his pencils are so fucking amazing; they're impossible to ink right.
Pencils are great on him.
His pencils are phenomenal. The techniques he uses and things like that can't translate through ink. It's a shame, really.
Yeah, no, his pencils are great. The inks, it does kind of just like blur it all together. Whereas,
and I'm not just an inker; it's just the kind of stuff that's impossible to ink.
That's a lot of things where it's like the pencil work is always just.
Ryan needs to learn how to pencil to the inks. No,
I'm
teasing. I'm just kidding. Okay,
we got to get Ryan on here and tell him that. Bagley said this.
He stomped me like a bug.
He's a big man. He's a tall dude. I saw. I was like, oh, all right.
Tiny.
Now the convention scene, not doing that for the past year. You did a CGC private signing. That type of stuff. Do you miss that whole convention aspect, or is it kind of like, nah?
It's sort of double-edged sword type thing. It really is. You kind of miss it because you miss seeing the people who are in the business, because that's the most opportunity you get to. Although I'm not the most sociable person in the world anyway. So, I mean, I've got like 3 or 4 really good friends here in Georgia with me, and give me those guys and let me go shoot pool and leave me alone,
Yep.
But it was nice cash money. And meeting the fans is always fun. I mean,
always
the whole deal. But but the traveling is kind of exhausting, and it really is a double-edged sword. I miss it, but then I don't miss it at all.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's like one of those when you're in the swing of it, it's good, and then when you stop, you're like, is it though? Like,
on
do I
Sunday,
like
why the hell am I here? What the fuck is this? Especially the cons that are now 4 days long.
Oh yeah.
And always leading up to a con is why the hell am I going?
Mm-hmm.
How to go? So
all that travel, all that fun stuff. You're going to draw carnage about 85 times.
So much fun nowadays too, even before the mask thing. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And to piggyback on that, you're going to be doing some signing with us, and you're going to be drawing carnage a lot probably because you're offering some remarks to people too.
Oh yeah, I did do that, didn't I?
You sure did.
God help me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You mentioned a CGC thing. That thing was insane.
You were there for like 4 days, right?
I was there 4 days, 8 to 9 hours a day. I forget how many books there were to sign, but it was these huge boxes, and there was an entire pallet full of huge boxes because I'd never done one of these before, and it was insane.
Well, you were like the second one. I think the first one was Todd. Then they immediately were like Bagley.
Oh, Todd did like 3 times the amount I did. He didn't do remarks though.
He didn't do remarks. His was just signatures, but you were doing remarks there.
3 times the amount I did, but it was crazy.
Well, you did 3 times the amount of work with the remarks.
Yeah, you haven't seen my remarks.
I have some. Actually, you did this for me at New York Comic Con, and it always stays with me. It's not a remark, but I love that.
Oh, okay.
So,
it's okay. It's no JR.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's a Mark Bagley.
Yeah.
But no, we're really excited for you to be part of this for the signing opportunity. I think a lot of people always asking for you. I mean, when are they not? It's Spider-Man. It's Mark Bagley. It's like,
and, I'm not gonna be around much longer, so they better get it while I'm still,
Oh, you're gonna be around plenty. Come on.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, man. Before you know it, we'll be back at conventions, and I'll be running up like, all right, how many Spider-Man characters are on this cover now? You're gonna be like, every single one of them from start till now, 1,000 characters. No. All right. Well, Mark, we'll let you get on with it and stuff like that. Thank you so much for being on.
Glad to be here. Hope you guys do well with this.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Take care, sir.
Bye.
So, what a show, dude. I mean, it was fun. I fanboyed out, and I always will. Whenever I get to meet guys like that, it's not a face-to-face, but even with working with the people that I do,
yeah,
I meet a Mark Bagley. I mean, if I meet anybody that I kind of admire, I instant fanboy because I'm a comic fan at my core who just happens to be able to work here.
I first time I ever met Mark Bagley, I was very intimidated by the concept of even saying hello to him. But he is definitely one of the coolest guys you could ever talk to in this business. Pat's super cool. Rick's awesome. Everybody. Spider-Man creators are a very diverse group, but they're also like the coolest group. And you always whenever I talk to these guys, I have to hold in my fanboyish because otherwise you and me are going to be looking like idiots just staring at a screen.
Yeah, we can only afford one idiot on screen at a time.
And that's you this time.
Hey, I'll wear it. I don't care.
Yeah, you get me on with Archer, I'll probably be sitting there like, hi, Stanley. So, but we're really excited that we're able to present this opportunity for people watching, for fans, for our facilitators, for fans of collecting graded books or whatever else. That these aren't small names here. This is Pat Gleason, who's got the biggest biggest cover of this year.
Close to the last 2 years. I mean, that's 3 heavy hitters and just boom, boom, boom.
You've got Rick Leonardi, who's created one of the coolest versions of Spider-Man 2099, and also had input on that black suit design that is still used and iconic to this day. You got Mark Bagley, who, what else could you say about this guy? One of the coolest villain creations, one of the coolest runs of Spider-Man. You heard it from himself. Outsold Amazing Spider-Man with Ultimate Spider-Man for years. And unfortunately wasn't able to be here, but you got Giuseppe Camicoli, who worked on Superior, did a lot of great Spider-Man stuff there, very unique looking Spider-Man. And I look forward to having him on, and I might just make a Darth Vader show just for him at some point. But these are things where guys, and David Michelini, I can't throw him out there. Co-creator of Carnage, co-creator of Venom. That guy's a legend. Great Avengers run, great Iron Man run. Fantastic human being also. So being able to work with these guys and work with our facilitators, whether it be Clan McDonald, CBCS, or Agents of Slab, Twin City, Scott's Collectibles, Rich Hen for our CGC aspect. Even over here in Queens, New York, we have a store that I love, Royal Collectibles. They're going to be in on taking some books for us too and everything. Great people, doing this through this platform, Comic Conline, is a phenomenal thing for the fans, for us, for the creators, and, very happy that we were able to do this for you guys.
We've had a lot of support in doing all this stuff from one person in particular who's actually not so much a competitor, but doing some things that we are very similar to us. And Nick Barucci with the comic book shopping experience.
Mr. Barucci.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, that guy is one of those guys that started basically getting.
Cameron, you're welcome. I'm thanking people real quick. Dustin, you're welcome.
And here he is. I mean, the guy owns Dynamite Entertainment and Dynamic Forces, and is basically he came on our show and did some stuff with us at one point, and then lo and behold, he kind of starts a little bit different than what we're doing. But this is kind of the way things are going, and they have some good things going over there.
Well, when you get an endorsement from Nick Barucci, who's a real pioneer in this industry, he's really done some good, and he sees something and says, you guys are on a great path and stuff like that. I mean, he is. Look at these guests that joined today.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best. And this year we're only going to keep trying to keep to that standard. I'll fucking have Mark Bagley on every week. I don't even feel bad about cursing because, man, he was dropping
I'm going to tell you guys, I got a memo from this man the other day telling me about, because a lot of like what I do is I dip sometimes and I'll curse. And he's like, Corey, no dipping, no cursing.
Like family friendly show, and then Mark Bagley shows up.
Oh man.
Ian, the surprise announcement was involved in the signings was David Michelini, co-creator of Carnage and Venom. So he is a person you'll be able to submit books for. All these graphics and all the information for the sign will be posted on Comic Conline, and each facilitator, Agents of Slab, get John Byrne. You bring me John Byrne, I'll bring John Byrne on. That's not a conversation I want to try and get involved in. He's great. I had a great experience with John Byrne. I'm lying, but between Agents of Slab, Twin City, Rich Hen, Scott's Collectibles, Clan McDonald, through us here at Comic Conline, you will be able to pick your facilitator of choice. Pick if you want CBCS or CGC, or if you just want your battered Ultimate Spider-Man trade or whatever comic book you'd like to get signed through us. It is up to you guys how you want to do this, how you want to proceed forward. I cut off Corey from smack talking me about me telling him not to curse, and I appreciate Ian with that comment, so I could do that. But yeah, that was Spider-Man Day.
It was awesome, and maybe we'll do another one of these because I think it was August 18th. I think is actual recognized Spider-Man Day. But we can have like 5 Spider-Man days in a year and still not cover every awesome thing there is with Spider-Man. Much like that. You could have a Spider-Man Day every month.
I could have a Spider-Man Day every day.
Yeah.
Like there's certain characters. This is the thing. This is what's great about this platform is like we're not tethered to a show schedule to what, like if people want to write in and suggest what type of show they want us to do, we can build a show around a great suggestion. You want an X-Men show? We'll try and do an X-Men show. A Superman show? We'll try and do that. A cable show? Probably not.
But I'll shoehorn him in.
Corey's favorite.
So we could do stuff like just honoring specific cover artists, like batches of cover artists, like oil painters or digital artists or
suggested.
So I mean, we could focus on all kinds of stuff.
People will be writing in. I saw one for J. Scott Campbell. I see one for Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman would be pretty cool, man. I loved the Ninja Turtles when I was growing up.
Yeah. We might know some people that can make that happen.
Probably.
We are not doing a John Byrne signing. We're just floating.
Yeah.
Somebody asked. Right?
No, I'm not doing a John Byrne signing. No.
If you can get John Byrne to answer the phone, we will do a John Byrne signing. We don't even have his number, so we'd need his number first.
John Byrne was one of those guys I met, and that was a daunting experience.
Yeah,
he was very nice, very, very cool guy, but still, I'm like, it's John Byrne.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the story's positive and negative. So I ended up mine with a very positive experience, and I'm just like, I might just leave it at that. But
I never want to see him again, so that I have a great fond memory of.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need that. Actually, one of my favorite experiences, one of the nicest guys I ever met in comic industry was the first time I met you, and you introduced me to Art Germ, who I thought would be pretentious. I thought, I'm like, this is Art Germ. Like, this is the guy. And I man, what a phenomenal human being that guy is.
Yeah.
Same thing with JJ when he introduced me to Doug Mankey.
He's like 6 inches taller than you, probably. He's like almost 6'3". I mean, he is a giant Asian.
He stood up and he just kept going. And I'm 6'1", and I'm like, where's he going? So, but I hope everybody out here enjoyed Spider-Man Day. I hope everybody submits some books for these artists. Get something cool for yourself, a loved one. If you want to get me and Corey stuff, that's always cool.
Greg likes things too.
Greg likes things too. Big shout out to him. Great engineering job today. Yeah, I think that's all she does for this one. But if you want to comment, ask questions, we are always available. It'll either be me, Corey, or Greg who will be responding to you. So we're very easy to find. Any of the facilitators, you can ask them any of the stuff. Everybody has all the same information, and we look forward to seeing what you guys submit. Like, I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. Stay tuned as well. I mean, because we're going to keep the announcement coming for the next show and the next show. We're going to keep rolling, guys, because we love doing this. This is fun. Like, this is it. It's a job, but it's not a job. This is fun, dude. This is a blast.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's a fact.
I'm going to leave it at that.
I have one little thing to show off, and this is sort of a personal push for my buddy Art Germ. He has a new company, Marvelistic Studio, where he has his original character, Pepper. I don't know if you're familiar with her. They're releasing some things right now through Amazon. Some products. If you are an artist, if you work in an office, something like that, it comes in a box much like this. It is an office desk mat or pad. That's a fancy box, dude. Look at that.
That's a very fancy box.
It comes when you get it out of there. You got yourself a Pepper bookmark there.
That box comes with a bookmark. That bookmark only.
Not just that. No. See, what's inside it is this fancy thing right here.
Cool.
That is like super fancy rolled and everything, man. Look at it. That's tight. I mean, I take pride in my packaging here, and I don't think we could do this. This is
definitely not. This for everybody watching. This is the first time I'm seeing this too. So
I mean, it's if you go to Art Germ, if you go to his Facebook page, he did a nice little video with this. It's leather, dude. This thing is like leather, and it's like $18.
Okay.
$1 coupon right now. You can get it for $13. And it's next day shipped. Like, it arrives the next day because it's stocked by Amazon.
And what is the use of this mat?
It sets down on your desk, holds your computer, holds all your stuff. It's a no-slip kind of thing for cell phone.
I like that. That's Pepper engraved on there.
Yep, and then got the Marvelistic Studio logo there as well.
Very cool.
And gray. It comes in. Greg got himself a blue one over here, which I'm not going to show because I'm not going to show how messy the floor is.
Yeah, it comes in a bunch of different colors.
And a pink. So. And
you can find it on Amazon.
That's right. Just look up Marvelistic Desk Pad.
That's awesome. Support Art Germ and that because if it's on Amazon, we ain't seen a cent of that. So that's some nice free plug for Mr. Stanley Art Germ. Wow.
We might get a free mat or 5 here or there.
I'll take a mat. I like mats. I'll do it.
Hey, I will push anything for free swag.
There you go. Same here.
That's it for me. I'll let Rich close it out. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
I have nothing else further to say other than thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining our Spider-Man event. Thank you to Mark Bagley, Pat Gleason, Rick Leonardi, Dave McAleen for being a part of the signing. Same thing with Mr. Comic Conline, to our facilitators, to you guys for joining. February, mid-February, we're going to try for another one of these. Might be a little less themed, but I know we got Philip Kennedy Johnson and Kelly Jones. So get to do some cool stuff there.
Yeah, big
Outside of that, huh?
Big things in March.
Big things in March. I'm not even going to say. We'll wait till February to talk about that.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, that's it for us.